Breaking news this morning, we now know who was arrested following a heavy police presence on Margybeth Avenue in Evansville yesterday. According to their affidavits, the Vanderburgh County Drug Task Force and the DEA were there investigating Rolshawn Hudson. This was because they say he was dealing fentanyl and meth out of his home. Agents say a source told them the second person involved in dealing the drugs was Jack Harden. Law enforcement say several other people, as you can see on your screen, they were all arrested. Their charges range from visiting a common nuisance to dealing drugs. Inside the home, agents say they found scales, multiple cell phones, THC, fentanyl, hundreds of dollars, and guns. Agents say other suspected drugs were also found inside. However, they have not been tested yet to confirm what they are. Right now, everyone arrested is still in the Vanderburgh County Jail. New on